Hey everybody, what's up? How you doing? Hey, it's Broman. We're back. And today we're gonna have a very important conversation chat, okay? YouTube. And that is is the Divinity. Well, you didn't say anything. Yeah. So here's the review for the Divinity. We're gonna fly into the Garden of Salvation. We're gonna talk about it. So if you don't know, the Divinity is the new raid exotic. It is a quest-based raid exotic, leaving it in the same vein as we'll say Touch of Malice or any of the other raid exotics that required a quest. It's not as complicated as the Outbreak, but it gets you there. So the Divinity is, I wouldn't say it's difficult to acquire, unless you don't have a raid team, in which case it's damn near impossible, because it does require completing the raid. But so you're going to get the Divinity quest by going to the Vex Gate on the moon, where the raid entrance is, right here, clearing all the enemies, and then picking up an Eye of the Gate Lord. You're going to do a whole bunch of quests. You're going to come back. You're going to complete the raid. In the raid, you have to do a whole bunch of crazy-ass quests dealing with the tether mechanic and lighting up all these little puzzles and things. And at the end of the raid, you're rewarded with the Divinity, which, hilariously enough, seems like the perfect opportunity. You're like, oh, God, finally, I have a ranged debuff Divinity. If you guys don't know the perks, you have Judgment. I'll go to the other side here. You have Judgment. Sustained damage from this weapon envelops the target in a field and weakens and disrupts them. Penance, targets under fire of Judgment long enough are struck with burst damage. So essentially, you're looking at this and you pick it up and you think, oh, I have a long range. I have a long range tractor cannon. And for some situations, that's correct, and it's great, and it's awesome, and it's fun. The only unfortunate scenario currently with the Divinity is that on the final boss of this raid, it actually makes you do less damage, which kind of sucks. Now, I didn't necessarily believe it, and I haven't done a lot of testing, and I'll admit that if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But essentially, one of the big issues with the Divinity on the final boss is it changes the critical modifier, so you actually end up doing less damage on the debuffed part than if you were to just shoot the mans in the tummy. Now, I don't know if that's because you need to use the Divinity specifically on the crit spot to debuff the crit spot, but in general, the way that other debuff weapons in the game have worked is that you debuff the entire enemy. You don't just sort of create a core on them that can, just create a core or like a little circle on them that has like a random increase. Something other folks have noticed is that if you shoot the circle, right, you shoot the debuff circle, which we're going to get around to showing you here. You shoot the debuff circle, that is not going to do things like proc whisper and stuff like that, which makes sense. But all in all, the Divinity has sort of like a confusing use case. So how do you use it? Do you recommend using it? Is it worth it? Is it worth getting? Ranking, raid exotics is always a fun time. The Divinity serves a very unique purpose, and that's long-range debuff. And right now, in some of the situations where long-range debuff seems to be the key to some encounters, or maybe not the key, but just part of an encounter that you'd like to experience. Let's see what we get on this guy. That might be a power upgrade. No, it's not. Okay, I don't hate that. But you're going to have the Divinity in your inventory, and you're going to be like, I don't really know if I'm going to use it. The Divinity is an incredibly fun weapon. I wouldn't put that past anybody, but it doesn't feel as strong all around as I think I'd like it to be. And now we come to the part where I always say, here's a suggestion. I'm not really sure what they could do to fix the Divinity. Like, it's fun for mobbing. We'll see if we can get the damage bubble to proc on a boss. You can see, like, it's a dope looking weapon. You basically have control over, Vex time and space. And you can collapse it around people or whatever the hell feeling you're supposed to get. But the issue is that trading off your exotic slot to take something into the raid that's designed to debuff that might accidentally make you do less damage, but at the very least is going to end up, lowering your DPS. We had some damage cycles yesterday where I was running Divinity, and I ended up being, I did 200,000 damage, and everyone's doing a lot more. So you're also trading a lot of damage in order to get that debuff bubble that you just saw. So the question is the trade-off worth it? And right now it's not. I would rather take in a full team that has one or two people that has a debuff grenade or a tether or something else, because the Divinity sort of feels like right now it either needs a stronger debuff, it needs to debuff the entire enemy, or it needs to do more damage itself. I feel like right now it doesn't quite feel specialized enough. Because when you grab an exotic and you're going to debuff with it, like the tractor cannon, it needs to feel like you're making a massive difference. And right now in the raid with the Divinity, I feel like you make more of a difference as a Guardian if you are laying into the boss with a sniper rifle than if you are assisting everybody via the Divinity. And I don't think that's where things should suss out currently. I think that the Divinity should be the weapon that you want to go to debuff a boss that no one wants to get close to. And this is kind of the first boss that's really been like that, aside from... well, I guess we go back in time. We got Oryx, and then we got Argos, that have ranged encounters. So I'd love to see the Divinity sort of have a stronger reason to trade off into it. I love the Divinity. I think it's really cool. I love the design. It's really fun to use. But when it comes to a raid exotic, I feel like it's a little underpowered. It needs like a little touch or a push in one direction or another to truly feel exotic. Because right now, when I use the Divinity, it feels great. It feels cool. But it doesn't feel overwhelmingly awesome. It doesn't feel like I'm delivering a sizable amount of help to my team. And it certainly doesn't feel like I'm taking an effective trade-off by using it over another exotic in any other slot. So if you're thinking about picking up the Divinity, I would do it. If you're a completionist, it's absolutely worth it. But currently, if you're kind of sweating like, oh God, I got to get the Divinity, I got to get in the raid and do it. You need to get in the raid and you need to do the raid. Because it's fun, the gear looks dope, and it's a great encounter, and it's something everybody's, really going to have a fun time with after you're done ripping each other's hair out with tethers. But going in specifically to get to the Divinity, I don't know if that feels great. And it's tough. The Divinity has a lot of, it has a lot of prowess that's stacked up against as a as a raid exotic. We have ooh shit, that's my first 950 drop. If you could just go ahead and put 950 in the comments. Field prep and rampage, I like it. But if you're using the Divinity and you're trying to stack it up against something like the Thousand Voices, I admittedly never got the Teraba, although I heard that it was Teraba. You're looking for a raid exotic. You're looking for a really fun and unique way to play the game that feels earned or not earned. Like maybe it takes a year to get the Thousand Voices, but it feels special. It makes a difference, and when you see it in the world, you're like, God damn. And with the Divinity, I don't think that it's quite there yet. So there you go, chat. The Divinity, an interesting gun. It's fun. The quest, a bit of a struggle. Helping your friends do the quest, a bit of a struggle. Doing the quest for the first time, a bit of a struggle. Finishing the raid, a bit of a struggle. The result, I don't know if it's worth it to go through all that to pick this up unless you're a completionist at this point. I'd love to see the Divinity get some touches, either do more damage, do a larger debuff, or get a couple of the bug fixes in there and, truly make it feel amazing. I think the reason it doesn't do a lot of damage is because the buff is supposed to maybe be stronger than it is, but I have absolutely no idea. I'd love to know your experiences with the Divinity. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Take this video down. It'll be fantastic, and then we'll all be excited about how great the Divinity is. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you've been enjoying Destiny launch. Apologies that after the raid I sort of crashed and I didn't get a couple uploads out there for you. But you know what? You gotta preserve that energy and make sure that you don't die by making too much content, which would be honestly a great way to go. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.